Let us get this day going. Welcome. What does it mean to live a compelling life? This is day 3, and we're going to be going into the few links that I have about what the Ringling College has to say and what their mantra is, and how might that guide you in this what's turning out to be like there's a lot of choices to make, aren't there? So many choices to make. And another contributor brought up a fantastic not a keynote, what's it called? College address. And I thought maybe I would touch on that, bring up the link a little bit, and touch on what the meaning of that speech was all about, that allows for you to understand that most of what we're leading and leaning into here is based on choice. And the Ringling School actually made it very simple, turning passion into profession. We've all heard this before. Go ahead and do the transition. Also run over to YouTube right quick and make sure that we are heard over there. See you in just a moment. And yes, we are live, thank goodness. Okay, let me make sure that I remember in my history and the commencement. Isn't that funny when you go live? I just want to give you kind of a little thing. There is something, they've talked about this before. There is something weird that happens. I can go all day long. I have notes, I have thoughts. I'm constantly learning, hyper curious about things. And then when I turn this on, it's as if the fog has come into my world. It is absolutely maddening. The commencement that we learned about today from another contributor is This is Water, David Foster Wallace. This is Water. Now there is a PDF and there are also some videos as well. He made this commencement speech to the graduating class of Kenyon College. And it's turned out to be a trove of wisdom. Wallace hits on our need to manage rather than remove our core hard-wired human instincts. And so as we have a choice, and I'm just going to go through the transcript and just grab one little thing. But anyway, you finally get to the checkout lines. Let me make sure that I have, okay, good. You finally get to the checkouts lines front, and you pay for your food, and you get told to have a nice day in a voice that is the absolute voice of death. Then you have to take your creepy, flimsy plastic bags of groceries in your cart with the one crazy wheel that pulls maddeningly to the left all the way out through the crowded, bumpy, littery parking lot. And then you have to drive all the way home through slow, heavy, SUV, intensive rush hour traffic, etc., etc. It is definitely well worth the listen. I'll put a link to the PDF here in the super chat, in the chat. And we'll also include this PDF link, which is the transcript, in down below when we have wrapped up. So first day we went to Stanford, fascinating. Second day we went to MIT, unreal. And today we're going to the Ringling College of Art and Design, where their motto is turning passion into profession. Once again, understanding that what does it mean to live a compelling life? So what I'm doing with this is that every day we're visiting a college or university and finding out what is their North Star, what is their motto. How are they framing and forming young minds to have the goods and have the knowledge that one can have a compelling life, and how do you go about doing that absent of the instruction of your parents, your family, your faith, okay? Which the assumption is that those things are intact, but now you're an adult and you can actually have choice, which is what David Foster's work was. David Foster Wallace's commencement was all about, was this choice. And even that would make a compelling life if you knew that in all instances that we would have choice with things. So let's try to understand a little bit about Ringling. And I'm going to go over to the PDF that describes let's make sure I can get there with the Ringling story. And I'm over at my Medium and I just can't get those links right. Yeah, just stay with me. Sometimes it's telling me that I can grab it, and then other times it's not. I'm not going to put any pressure on ourselves here. Okay, the Ringling story. Of course, Ringling is in Sarasota, Florida, and so that you know, it is a preeminent arts school, very well respected as an art school. Now, it hasn't always been what it is today, and that's why we started thinking about Ringling, because they actually had a college for clowns. And there are some incredible quotes and stories that come out of the clown school, and I want to try and understand that when you have a profession such as being a clown, how does that factor into every day? And as it turns out, very difficult profession to have, and very little of it, listen to me, very little of that can be used with the outside world. Does anyone relate to that? Maybe the gamers. Do you guys relate to that at all? That you can spend and make your craft really high, just top notch. It's all really great. But there's really very little of that can be framed and fashioned to benefit you with the outside world. And I think that when we have, once again, these interrupts in our life to help us frame that 100% compelling life, that going to the clown and how they become great clowns, what do they walk away with? So there's a PDF about Ringling, and of course the story of Ringling is really something else in how he came about. In 1907, the kings of the show world, the Ringling brothers, purchased the Barnum and Bailey show. That's why if you've ever seen the big signs, it's the Ringling brothers, Barnum and Bailey, which proved to be a fortuitous investment. And this was really the basis of how they were able to get the money that they had and own 25% of Sarasota in the day. So just massively successful art, patrons of the arts, and they were pretty keen on having this successful business of being in the circus world. They made enormous profits from the addition of Barnum and Bailey. In their first year, they recovered their entire $410,000 investment. They became circus kings of the world by adopting and observing the simple rule that it is better to be straight than crooked. How do we live a compelling life? With simple rules? Simple rules like he had, that it is better to be straight than crooked. That really kind of struck me. In 1927, Ringling moved the winter quarters to Sarasota. In 1911, John and Mabel being his wife, purchased a house called Palms Elysian and 20 acres of land on Sarasota Bay. They began spending their winters there. Now, John and Charles being his brother, owned more than 25% of Sarasota's total area. So when we think about a compelling life, and one might be kind of, it's about how successful you were in business, that they were able to craft this incredible life, owning 25% of Sarasota. Imagine that in the 1920s, running a circus. They would go on to build an incredible home. The home cost $1.5 million in the day. Now it would cost about $25 million to build. And it's this Italian Venetian Gothic palace-looking thing. If you've ever been to Sarasota, you'll recognize it straight away. Stained glass and 36,000 square feet, 56 rooms, 5 floors, really something. But he started to collect art in 1925. But what's wild is that he concluded his acquisitions mostly by the end of 1930. So just in 5 years, he was able to amass this collection that required for him to actually build a museum. So I think that the Ringling story, this fast track to wealth, knowing that he needed to have the real estate, wanting to build a museum. I mean, just think about this. I would think that he led a very compelling life with all of these things in tow. I'm going to put the PDF down below so that you can see how the art school, of course, when he passed away, and how it transitioned into the Ringling College of Design. So you have all of that, but this one very simple motto. They've had lots of directors, and let me get to the link that talks about the college here. So just hold on just a moment. Where are we now? Okay. So, yeah, the Ringling, the Wikipedia for the Ringling. So we're just going to go ahead and read this. Ringling College of Art and Design was founded by Lud M. Spivey as an art school, as a remote branch of Southern College before their separation. So it was kind of a school that it received the Ringling name. Now, before that, of course, was the Ringling School of Clowns, which is where I'm going to take us now, called the Clown College, of all things. Just go ahead and read the wiki. Clown College was the brainchild of Irvine Feld, the owner of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, a long-time Ringling clown, and frontman Bill Ballantine. In 1968, so because that's when it was formed, the college was formed in 68. Ringling had only a handful of clowns, most of them over 50 years of age. It was clear that these performers wouldn't be able to go on forever, but there was a dearth of suitable replacements at that time, so Feld decided to create a school to train a new generation in this ancient art form. Feld also saw the potential public relations opportunity in having a place that could become the mecca of clowning in the United States. In addition, he wanted to use the school as another way of keeping his show more attractive to audiences than his competition, and have a place where he could guarantee an endless supply of talent. It's just something else. A school where you go to learn the ancient art form of being a clown. Notable. Geez. So these links will be down below so that you can check them out on your own. So let's see how I can kind of wrap this around, or try and, when I was thinking about Ringling, kind of where I wanted it to go, not quite understanding that one can find what would you say, like direction in even having clowned around, or not really got your life straight, or because we hear this, what does it mean to live a compelling life? And it already has kind of this connotation that you are somehow have more control than others. But that to learn the ancient art form of being a clown, not only did this come from those that had a compelling life, it had the foundation, a massive foundation, with someone in John Ringling that definitely had understood what it meant to live a compelling life. So that's the study today and the discussion today. I definitely believe, as each college is unveiled and there's things and that we can talk about, that this will, that at least my thinking is that we will begin to see a constant, whether it's in quotations or people's lives, and at least some sort of a roadmap where you can, especially, remember how I started this off and I said, you can have a compelling life all the way, and then you turn 18 and your parents are very uninterested in you becoming furthermore educated. They cut you off, and everyone around you goes on to learn and have the freedom to learn on their own, becoming an adult on their own. So at any point in your life, you can have these fractures that stop you from the momentum that one needs in childhood to begin on a course of having meaning behind your compelling life. You could many times already have it, but you have to be able to infuse meaning into it so that you can continue the momentum. So that is it for us today, 17 minutes in. This has been Beauty Bubble. What does it mean to live a compelling life? Visiting the Ringling College of Art and Design, the Ringling College of Clowns, and trying to understand more about John Ringling and how he was able to live such a compelling life. Bye-bye now.